The purpose of this video is to provide an insight into the life of a foreign coach here in the Netherlands, looking at the culture of the game and its history, but to also examine the pressure of the game within the coaching process and what it takes to succeed when coaching internationally.
Wie is de baas in de bosjes van PEX? Die vraag staat centraal bij de burenruzie tussen Quick en HBS, die voor de tweede keer dit seizoen op de rol staat.
Currently, I am the men's 2 reserve team coach at Quick, who are a third division team within the KNVB here in Den Haag in the Netherlands. And this year Quick celebrates its 125th year.
Nu nog vuurwerk op het veld. Het is met name aan Quick nu om wat te laten zien van de Heide. Boshoff raak. Nu is het dan toch 1-1 via Mark Boshoff.
Traditionally, Quick and its fierce local rivals HBS are the highlights of the year.
Hij is de gevierde man bij Quick, Bouya Zannes aangever, en Boshoff maakt zijn tweede. En hij kan zijn vuist ballen. Quick draait een 1-0 achterstand om in een voorsprong.
Quick are a recognized football club here in Den Haag, where their youth teams play at the highest levels, competing against many of the traditional professional clubs of the Eredivisie, such as Den Haag. And Quick have strong connections with many of these professional teams. In this video, I will attempt to examine my coaching role. I will also examine the requirements and expectations of being a coach at this level, and finally discuss some of the challenges that I have faced as an international coach.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Must be. Nee!
Currently, there are many managers all over the world challenged with the native language of that country. Most recently, in the English Premier League, where Marcelo Bielsa has only spoken native Spanish in the public since taking over as the Leeds United boss back in 2018. Even the great Bobby Robson was also challenged within this process when he became the Barcelona manager in the 1990s with translator José Mourinho. During a similar era, Jean Tigana of France became the manager of Fulham FC. He took with him John Collins, who had learnt French in his 2 years playing for Tigana in Monaco. John, thank you for this opportunity. I'm confident your experience in international playing and coaching will help other coaches and trainers. Your time in Monaco, then later at Fulham under Jean Tigana, is something we'd like to examine.
I look forward to it.
Thank you. John, first question, please. Share with us some of your experiences with Jean Tigana at AS Monaco and Fulham regarding the use of the foreign language.
Well, obviously, I moved to Monaco from Celtic in 1996. I never spoke any French, never did it at school. So I turned up, went in the dressing room, it was 99% French speaking. So I had one choice if I wanted to integrate and be part of the team, jokes and banter. And that was to learn the language. So I got to work straight away, even before I arrived. I had my own French teacher I worked with after training, morning, noon and night, because I knew that I enjoy having a laugh, I enjoy communicating, I enjoy making friends. It's not just about playing football, it's about the whole experience. So I had a great teacher to start with, that's the key, and then putting hours in. So probably a great experience for me on and off the pitch. The family learned French, the kids went into French school, they never went into international school. So obviously it was tough the first few months, kids, everybody a little bit stressed. But you've got to go through the pain to get the pleasure. And we did that. And I had 2 years as a player under Jean Tigana, which was magical, that's the word to describe it. Winning the French title, playing with great players, playing great football, and having great runs in Europe.
John, very interesting. Thank you. And added to that, if you were ever to take up a coaching position again that required another language other than English and French, what would be your preferred approach to learn that language and go through that experience again?
Well, obviously, as a manager and a coach, you've got less time to yourself. As a player, you've got time. Training finishes, you don't have to prepare sessions, study opponents. So it's more difficult for a coach going to a new country to have the time to learn the language. So I've nothing but respect for managers that go and work on the training pitch, but also at the language. And also for coaches that go to foreign countries and use interpreters to get their message across and have success. I always thought it was impossible to not be able to speak the same language as a coach. But Marcelo Bielsa proved me wrong at Leeds. He came in and never spoke any English, used his interpreter, which anybody who watched Leeds during his time there, they were absolutely sensational. It looked like the players knew exactly what the manager wanted from the first day. He got them playing attractive football, highly motivated individuals. And normally I would have said it's not possible to motivate a whole squad and get the tactical messages across, the key, tiny details, without being able to speak to the players in depth. But he did it. I don't know if there's anybody else that could do it. But I would say it proved me wrong. So it can be done through an interpreter, but my option, my solution, my advice to coaches would be, of course, learn the language. Communication is so important. Getting to know people, getting into their minds, getting your message on the training pitch. Of course, you can put sessions on and tell them where to run, when to run. But key words, key moments, it comes from a little shout, little instruction, correction. Football's about explanation, demonstration, repetition, correction, repetition. And the correction comes from usually verbal, but obviously you do correct with demonstration, showing them where to move, how to move, when to move. But it's much, much harder if you cannot communicate verbally with them.
That's a very good answer, John, and I really appreciate that you brought some of those aspects up, including Marcel Bielsa, which is something that is part of the research that I've gathered, and I find it fascinating that he's also managed all these years without actually speaking any English during his time here in England. But you're right, the football that he was able to produce for that team was exceptional. Joy to watch, really.
Yeah, obviously, I think he must have done a lot of video analysis, video work with the players, visual. If he's not speaking and communicating direct with them, unless through his interpreter, I'm sure he must have been doing a lot of video analysis, video work, showing them exactly what he wanted, where he wanted it. So, and again, for a coach, video work, video analysis, it's a huge tool for a coach, and you'll probably find that the ones at the top use it so often.
When accepting a new coaching role or job, you simply must adapt quickly, sink or swim. When accepting the challenge of a coaching position abroad, using a foreign language, then this can be a far greater challenge. Which path do you take? Do you coach and train in your own mother tongue, or learn a new language and lead your team in theirs?
Hallo, ik ben Thomas van Emst. Ik speel al mijn hele leven op Kwik en ik speel als aanvallende middenvelder.
Hallo, ik ben Bas Paardenkoper. Ik speel eigenlijk ook al mijn hele leven op Kwik, vanaf 5 jaar oud. En ik ben middenvelder of centrale verdediger.
You have had an international coach manager for 2 years now. Can you share with me your thoughts and experience?
Yeah, of course. I think the experiences are really good. I think most of the times we enjoy training sessions and games.
What I'm looking for in this pass and trap exercise is, can we bring a cognitive aspect into it? Can I make you think? Very easy to begin with. I'm just going to start with one ball. Cassie, can you come here with the one ball? Make a chance to Toby. Yeah, Toby will give you that ball back, but that ball is coming out here. Yeah, yeah. Toby's going to give you back. It's really you putting it back there. Just make that simple pass to begin with. Yeah. Straight through there. Good. Now, good. There we go. That's the angle I'm looking for. where would that go, Alberto? Yeah, where would that go? Let's try again. Bring the start again. Start again. Start again, Alberto. Okay, good. Yeah. Good. Alberto, look, stay at this side. When you bounce it, then you get through it. Yeah, look at the length. Yeah, look at me now, boys. Go. You have to be on the right side.
For me, as we have an international trainer, and I haven't had a national trainer my whole football career, so this is my first time to really talk English each training and each game. And what comes to mind when I think about this question is after a match or at halftime at a match, then the trainer says something in English and hopefully everyone can understand it, but then someone like Bas, our captain, or our keeper, Patrick, translates it in Dutch so everyone can understand what has been said.
Okay, was that always? Okay, switch back on. Again, just for understanding, I know that some of you, English sometimes is the question that I'm trying to sort out here, and I need to understand that we're all on the same page. I would like us, Tees, right? Like us to carry on your usual press, but we've got to decide when we're going to do that. So we're going to press high, put them under immediate pressure, okay? You've got to decide which way you want to take that, and let's just say it comes across. Taco, do me a favour, just make sure that this pass doesn't get shut down that option in your early time.
Here, I'm shutting down this option as well, right?
Yep. And then this is coming in here. And then all we need to do is just make sure we step up our two, as you want to call it, 2 8s or 2 10s. Just step them up and keep them under that pressure. First 5-10 minutes, let them know all about us. But to be honest, guys, they know we're top of the league, so they're going to be trying their best. Naturally, if you think about it, if you're playing top of the league, you want to challenge yourself. So you got to take that attitude into this game. We cannot think they're just going to roll over with a white flag and say surrender. Yeah. Now, coach did just come up to me and say they've got a lot of COVID problems. So do we. All right. Apparently, Carnival was a bit of a disaster for their team. Bus, my captain. Let's please go over the actual this as well. But Bus, we're talking about dropping into a 5-3-2 if they do that as well at the back.
Kijk jongens, eigenlijk heel simpel doen we al heel jaar 4-3. We beginnen met hoog druk zetten, kantelen met de buitenspelers, we staan naar binnen. We kunnen dan half-half gaan staan met de middenvelder ertussen om door te stappen naar een back. Mochten ze nou 5-3-2 spelen of zelf 4-4-2, dan is het ook nog een optie dat wij in 4-4-2 gaan staan. Dan stel ik voor dat we hem eigenlijk gewoon wat draaien. Dat kunnen we in de wedstrijd regelen of dan Felix gaat doorstappen en dat we Rees en Taco naar binnen halen. Of dat we bijvoorbeeld Rees of Taco laten doorstappen en dat we hem vlak wegzetten. Maar we weten wel hoe dat moet. Maar laten we in ieder geval beginnen met hoge druk zetten. Ties, even kijken welke hun beste opbouwer is. Die zetten we het liefst ietsje vast. En gewoon scherp beginnen, boys. Ja, dat is belangrijk. Ja, waarom was een beetje... aanvallend gezien jongens, één ding wel. We kennen Kei's kwaliteiten. Dat is niet, denk ik, als die constant moet gaan overlappen. Wat heel interessant is vandaag, is als we Kei wat eigenlijk laten terugzakken en vlakker houden, dan hebben we Rees constant in de 1 tegen 1 langs de zijlijn. Ja, aan de andere kant heb je juist liever dat Taco naar binnen gaat komen en Pim overlapt. Ja, dus kijken of we daar op die manier zo overtal kunnen creëren.
Just like we're always doing, every week.
Ja?
Ja?
Duidelijk boys?
Hij is niet als je de kans hebt.
Unbelievable start, by the way. Let's, as usual, just want to hear what you've got to say in Netherlands first. Captain, Bas?
Ik denk dat we heel goed starten. Heel scherp. We vonden ons aan de bal ook echt ontzettend goed. In het begin. En het is eigenlijk wat anders dan normaal. Eigenlijk voor mijn gevoel, ik ben in de eerste 10 minuten heb ik heel weinig de bal gehad. Maar dat had ermee te maken dat de ruiten eigenlijk vooral aan de zijkanten liggen. Zij kantelen met hun backs enorm naar binnen.
En ze kunnen eigenlijk ook van die twee backs, die kunnen er niet zoveel van. Dus ik denk dat we daar wat meer moeten benutten. Zorg er wel voor, aan de bal, dat we veel van kant wisselen, maar dat we ook variatie hebben tussen wat de buitenspeler doet en de back doet. Ik heb het 1 keer naar jou, Pim. Let op waar de ruimte ligt. Als die er ligt gaan, dat kan je niet 20 keer doen, maar wel een paar keer. En verdedigend gezien, ja, moet ik zeggen, ik vind het al voor middenveld is echt wel pittig. Wij lopen wel veel, want het heeft ermee te maken dat we niet altijd echt baldruk krijgen, maar wel verdedigend een beetje ertussen moeten gaan staan, of afstappen of doorstappen. En daardoor komt er ontzettend veel ruimte op het middenveld. Dus daar moeten we wel een keuze in maken. Of doorgaan, zeg maar, of dat we wat terugzakken.
Ik zou zeggen wat terugzakken, misschien buitenspelen naar binnen treden. Backstrij laten meer.
Ja,
die spelen ook wel heel vaak heel hoog, hè?
Ja, ontzettend hoog. Dat bedoel ik ook. En ik denk niet dat we dat vol kunnen houden.
Prima hand, iets achter.
Ja.
Ja, maar misschien ook van de zijkant gezien. Dus jullie hebben veel meer conditie dan. Dus op een gegeven moment gingen jullie met z'n allen naar voren.
Ja.
Kunnen hun ook gewoon niet meegaan.
Nee, ik zou dan ook wel redelijk klaar aan. Die linksbuiten die wil wel.
Ja.
Ja, liggen.
Do you understand?
Ja, ik begrijp een beetje. Ik denk.
Okay.
Mannen, let's think about this then. So, in my opinion, what I wrote down straight off the bat, I was looking for what I thought was the most dangerous player. We need to make sure we keep an eye on that 10. The 10 and the 8 are coming through quite easily on us, so we have to make sure we block that, yeah? Who's this?
Twee handen aan.
Okay, back on me. Listen, I'd like to ask your opinion now. What do we think we should do with their goal kick? How do you think?
Well, I think we should do it like we did in the last 10 minutes.
So only the goal kicks we
go high, and the goalkeeper press the goalkeeper that he has to kick it, and then he'll kick it into our.
That's what I thought. Exactly. That's what I
thought.
Then
if we intercept the ball, then someone from midfield should straight away pass to me or to someone else in front. Yeah.
Which Felix has done a good job in the last 10 minutes. He's got into that position really well, and I like that. So Felix, please keep doing that up. You've managed to link in there. But the problem I have is the transition between their long ball. They've got a big transition, a massive hole in the midfield. So that's where they're getting too much space and time to attack us as well. So we've got to be careful of that. So that transition here becomes, it looks like that. It looks like two different games going on. So we need to fill this hole. There's a big space here to use. I think if we play the midfield a little bit better and keep in possession, then we can get lots of time for Taco and Reece on the ball. Right? But brilliant start. Taco, if you're going to come back with a goal like that, I want to see more like that. It's unbelievable. Got to go. Also tease at the beginning. Pressure, constant. Reece, if you get a chance, just fire away with the left foot. You can't cut back on the right all the time. Okay?
Hello, my name is David Franzen. I've played in Sweden, Switzerland and other clubs here in the Netherlands. I play as a fullback.
Hello, I'm Alberto Segantini. I come from Italy. I play as a striker, and in my career I played in Italy and Hungary.
Hello, I'm Rhys Johnston. I play out wide, and in my career I played in the Australian NPL.
Guys, can you share with me your thoughts on having an international trainer and manager within a Dutch football club?
That's a good question. I think for at least myself as an international, I think it's been good because it's allowed me, I think, to connect with you perhaps more so than what I would have with the Dutch coach. So I think from that perspective, it's been good. But yeah, of course, then there might be differences in what you're used to also as an international coach compared to what the Dutch players are. So sometimes I might see that what the players want might be slightly different from what you want. But I think that's also good because then it's all about being able to adapt.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest challenge for an international coach to just go abroad and try to coach an international team, right? Try to adapt to the different culture, embrace diversity among the players. Personally, I think that it's been great to me. talking about language barrier, I think it was. I think Reese, you can agree with me. It's been great to have someone with an English background and speaking English very well as a coach for us in terms of communication, in terms of integration. Breaking the ice, first few steps into the game. It's been great, and I think it's really, really valuable.
Yeah. More on what Alberto said. I played with a Dutch coach for about a month before I joined Quick 2, and that was a bit harder. Whereas with an English coach, speaking coach as his first language, it makes it a lot easier for me as a player, and I feel like the whole team would benefit from that English coach. So yeah.
And on top of that, bringing international experience, mix of cultures, I think can only be beneficial for a team and for a club in general. So,
yep.
Move it. Yeah. Tick, yeah. Really put the ball in, Yellow. Test them. Yeah. Thump that ball in. Got to be quicker. Push that ball in quicker. Drive it in. Put that pass in. Yeah. That's better. That's better. Woo. Drive it in. Boop. That's better. Drive that pass in. Good save, Max. Boop. Yep. That's a great goal. Drive that ball in. Yep. Good, Pip.
Guys, please tell me about your time at Quick. Some positives, but also a couple of negatives.
The positives, well, I've made a lot of friends here at Quick. I've played here since I was 5 years old. And the funny thing is that the guys with whom I've been playing since I was 5 or 6 years old are still playing at Quick right now. So I'm still seeing them at training ground or at the Sundays when we have a game. And I think that's a wonderful thing to see. And Quick is a really great club in keeping the players from the youth until the seniors. I don't know if you have the same feeling about that.
Yeah, I think that's a very important thing about Quick. It's about playing at high level, but also about making friends and making friends for your whole life. So I think that's very important. We also stimulate boys that play at Quick to be a trainer. Yeah. So that's the thing we think is very important in our youth. And yeah, it's also about developing skills that you can have advantage of in the future. And I think looking at other positives for me is that I was lucky to be champion in like the under 13, under 13, under 15, under 17, and under 19. So that's quite incredible. And I've been lucky of being in a great team. Negative thing is that I've never been the champion of Quick 2, so that must happen this year.
It can happen. It can happen.
Yeah, it can
happen.
Right
now we're at the top of the league, and we're I think 4 points or 7 points away from the number 2. So it can happen this year. So let's pray for that.
Let's give it a try.
Exactly.
Yeah. Be sure you're that clear or the other way. Yeah. Exactly.
Guys, it's been a great pleasure to have you at Quick. This is your first season here now, and all the boys have really accepted you into this community, and it's fantastic. But I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask you all. First of all, how would you describe Dutch football?
Julia?
Sure. Well, I've been living here for a while actually, so this isn't my first experience within Dutch football, but it's a lot more physical than what it used to be in Switzerland. Where it's a bit more technical. I think that's my perception of a difference, at least quite physical here.
Yes, and I can add to that, coming from Italy, compared to Italian football, Dutch football is less tactical, I would say. There is a bit less focus on defensive kind of strategies and more focus on playing nice offensive strategies. What do you think, Chris?
Well, I come from Australia, so football wasn't the greatest in Australia. So for me, it's a lot more technical and it's a lot more structured, but I haven't played in Europe before, so it's a big step up. Yeah.
The data suggests that in order to succeed in this challenging environment, with the use of a new language while accepting a new coaching position, that a full engagement in learning this new language is considered to be the most rewarding.
Look at Dan! Look at Dan! Look at Dan! Look at Dan!
However, as I have demonstrated, a hybrid of both languages used can also be effective, where I have been able to create a team within a team, while also finding like-minded staff and players to help aid this process. My challenges. Well, the biggest challenge that I have experienced has been one that any coach would experience, even if they were taking a new position in their own country with their own mother tongue. And this is having to prove oneself. My advice is to adapt and learn quickly, and accept that this does take time. When in a foreign land, it is easy to feel overwhelmed. There is that feeling of being on your own. For me personally, one of the most important messages that I put across to my team when I arrived was to please accept me for who I am. I am not Dutch. For a while, in the Netherlands, in my previous club, there was conflict with my UEFA A license. It was not of the KNVB. So for some coaches, that meant it wasn't good enough. And these are just some of the things that you might have to deal with. However, my time here in the Netherlands has been very rewarding for me personally. Yes, it has been challenging, like any coaching position. We are at times challenged by the coaching process and what comes before us. During my time here as the men's reserve team coach, I have found great success in giving my team and players power, making sure they all know it's not about me, it's about them. Additionally, the team have succeeded this year because the reserve team has mainly had a full squad to pick teams from each week. Normally for me, each year, I find myself not knowing which players are available. This year has not been this way, which has provided consistency in team selection and availability of players. So I found that giving player power in the decisions we make, plus mixing the team with a foreign element, has proved to be a very effective combination. How has your experience been in your first season here at Quick, and what has been your biggest challenge?
Reese, you want to start?
Yeah, okay. So probably it's been good. It's been a good experience. But my biggest challenge would be probably the language barrier at the beginning, but we're getting there. And then also constant injuries at the worst times. But that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, to me it's the opposite on the language barrier matter, because in Hungary it was much more difficult for me to get integrated, and here at Quick right away through English language, of course, we managed to to become a team immediately and to be able to communicate and talk to each other. I think that's great, and the biggest challenge is probably the intensity. So the level I was playing for in Hungary was pretty much on the same level as the level we play here, but it was less intense. So the intensity during the game for me has been quite a challenge so far.
Yeah. I think I can agree with that as well. I mean, there was a period of, I think, 3 years before I joined the Quick here, so my cardio needed to catch up a little bit. So the intensity has been good, but I think that's been my challenge. But overall, I think it's a great club, and I've really enjoyed my season here so far.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
So, John, lastly, and really appreciate your time. And I've no doubt you're going to be going for probably a game of golf with that light that you still have there in Scotland.
Beautiful.
But if you were to return to coaching, would you be more attracted to your home Scotland, or do you think you could ever take up a role in coaching internationally again?
Yeah, well, I think everybody's first choice and the easy choice would always be to work in your own native tongue, your native language. You don't have to think; it comes naturally, 100%. But of course, I speak French, so I would go back in and work in a nice French club. I think that would be nice, challenging for me. I worked in Belgium, the French-speaking side of Belgium, so that was a fun time, challenging. But it's satisfying if you can speak another language to put yourself out your comfort zone and go for it. Again, I would recommend it to all players to start with to go and take an opportunity abroad. It's a great experience, but you've got to throw yourself into it 100%. I don't quite get these players that go and don't attempt to learn the language. It's true that wherever you go, so many players do speak English, so it makes us a little bit lazy. However, I would always recommend players and coaches go for it. Go and try and learn a new language and get yourself right into the culture of a new country and the way they think and talk.
Exactly. It's something that I've aspired to do here. I found it difficult, actually, from that very reason that there are so many English-speaking people here in the Netherlands. But at the same time, it's been part of my journey, and coaching here in a foreign language has also been a valuable experience for me to develop as a trainer and a coach. So,
well, I can only compliment you on that, because it takes a brave person to do that, to try and speak a foreign language, especially when they can't speak English, as your country is. In Holland, so many speak English, and often people are scared to make mistakes. But the key of learning a language is not to worry about making mistakes and ask all the people around you. I remember I got a great little tip from my French teacher was, wherever you go, ask the people around you to correct you every time you make a little error. Then all of a sudden, everybody around about you becomes little teachers as well. And I think when you ask them, correct me, because a lot of people don't want to correct you, they think it's rude or they might knock your confidence. But I thought it was a fabulous little tip, and wherever I went, people kept correcting me. So I think it speeded up the process of learning the language.
Good to know. I must try myself.
Go for
it. Thank you, John. I really appreciate your time, and I'm hoping that this kind of evidence will help coaches in the future. And I wish you all the best for your future endeavors, whatever that may be.
Thank you. Good luck with your coaching.
Yeah, thank you, John. Take care.
Cheers.
Bye.